Let's work through this 1.3 Mathlinks assignment. What is the exact length of AB? So point A is located at 2, 1. This is 2 units to the right, 1 unit up. And point B is going to be 4, 4. So positive 4, positive 4. The first coordinate is the x-coordinate, the second coordinate is the y-coordinate. Positive 4 to the right means, positive 4 means 4 to the right, positive 4 means 4 up. So what's the exact length of this nice line segment? Let's draw the triangle. This is going to be 1 to the right, 2 to the right. This is going to be a right angle. And this is going to be 1, 2, 3 boinks up. You can just count from 1 to 4. 4 minus 1 is going to be a length of 3. So this is 3 and this is a length of 2. Now can you figure out C, the hypotenuse? 2, 3, and then use Pythagorean Theorem. C squared equals 2 squared plus 3 squared. C squared equals 4 plus 9. C squared equals 13. Take the square root of both sides, and we have our answer. This here is the exact length of AB. Okay, number 2. This is probably the hardest problem. The word problem, this is a work example in your textbook. So this is baseball. This is going to be a square base diamond shape. 27 meters by 27 by 27, 27. A runner steals the base in 2 seconds. So from here to here, it takes 2 seconds. Now remember that when you're doing some kind of running motion or physics problem, distance equals velocity times time. So the time is given. Time equals 2 seconds. 2 seconds. It says here, will the ball arrive at second base before the runner? So the back catcher here is throwing the ball at a speed of 22 meters per second. So the ball here is traveling up and the velocity is 22 meters per second. So we need to figure out who wins the race. The race is a matter of time. The current record is 2 seconds. That's how fast the runner is going. We need to figure out the actual time it takes to throw this ball. Now we have the velocity, and now we need to figure out the distance going this way. So this is 27, 27. This is a right angle. We're going to try to figure out the hypotenuse, C, which happens to be the distance. C squared, or I'll just call this D. We'll say D squared equals 27 squared plus 27 squared. You might want to use a calculator here. So 27 squared is going to be 729. I'm going to add it twice, plus 729. And this happens to be D squared is equals to 1458. You take the square root of this number here. So D is approximately 38.18. And you should keep some more digits as well. So the distance is going to be this 38-ish meters. And you know that distance equals velocity time. So I'm going to say 38.18 ... is equals to the velocity, which is given as 22 meters per second. And then time is unknown. So this here is now one-step algebra. Whenever you have an equal sign in the middle, you can divide both sides by 22. And there's your time, because these cancel out. So we're going to take that number on your calculator, 38.18, etc., divided by 22. And it's going to be time is approximately 1.74. We're going to round up seconds. So as you can see, this back catcher threw the ball really, really fast, and it only takes 1.74 seconds to reach second base. So the person who's trying to steal second base would be out because the back catcher wins the race. Will the ball arrive at second base before the runner? And the answer is yes. So question number 3, find the exact value of D. This is simply a hypotenuse. This is a right angle. This is a nice rectangle. We're going to say D squared equals 9 squared plus 16 squared. D squared equals 81 plus 256. And then this is where you can just add carefully. 256 plus 81 is 337, and so d equals root 337, which is probably some decimal answer, is around 18.4, approximately 18.4-ish. So this is a preferred exact answer, root 337. Let's find the radius. Now look at the triangle inside of the circle. The hypotenuse, the diameter, is the entire distance all the way across. D squared equals 7 squared plus 5 squared. (40 plus 20, 60). So 74. So D equals root 74. So the radius is half the diameter. So the radius equals root 74 divided by 2. And this is the exact answer. We'll just get used to this. Just leave it at that. It's fine. Okay, so again we have a nice isosceles triangle. These are the same lengths. Trying to find x. So in order to do this, you need to figure out the bottom length here and just double it. So we're going to say 5, 12, 13. So therefore 50, 120, 130. Please memorize the Pythagorean triple, 5, 12, 13. You multiply by 10, you get 50, 20, 130. 50 plus 50 is 100. That's the value of x. Okay, number 6. We have 3 something 5. Okay, this is going to be 3, 4, 5. X equals 4. It's the Pythagorean triple, 3, 4, 5. And if you wanted to find the y, which would be this length here, let's just practice. If indeed this was 4, and this would be 3 plus 3, which would be 6, let's find y. This would be another good question. So y squared equals 4 squared plus 6 squared. This is Pythagorean theorem. Y squared equals 16 plus 36. This is going to be 52. So y equals root 52. So we just added this question. It's a very good question. Is what's y? It's going to be root 52. And then the x is just from the Pythagorean theorem. Pythagorean triple. Okay, number 7. What's the area of the top of the ramp? So the area happens to be a rectangle. 7, 24, 25 is a Pythagorean triple. It's good to memorize that. It saves you a lot of effort. And the area would be simply this times this, base times height, which is 25 times 100 is 2500. You just add the 2 zeros. This is going to be units squared. Okay, now for the bonus challenge. How do you figure out the exact length of AB in a square, or even a rectangle for that matter? But basically we recognize that squares have the same length. 2, 2, even this is 2. And try to visualize in 3D. This happens to be your C, your hypotenuse, and this happens to be the right angle going like that. This is on perspective, so everything looks distorted, but bottom line is this is a square bottom. Focus on this triangle here and use Pythagorean theorem. C squared equals 2 squared plus 2 squared. This and this. C squared equals 4 plus 4, which is 8. And let's memorize that. C squared is 8. Now let's focus on this dotted triangle up here. This is also a right angle. Imagine sitting at the corner of a room with your back to the wall, with your legs out. You can definitely do it. And let's find the length of D, which is the diagonal, which is the exact length of AB. So we say D squared equals this height, which happens to be 2 as well. It's a corner of it's a nice edge of a square, plus the bottom. And the bottom of this right triangle happens to be C. So we say D squared equals 2 squared plus C squared. D squared equals 4 plus, hold on, do we know what C squared is? We just found it out here. So please write 8, don't write 8 squared. C squared is 8, not 8 squared. So D squared is equal to 12. And the original question is what's the length of D? It's going to be root 12. This here is the exact length of AB.